Now, composites are a digital design. You can also use the AlbumsAustralia library, which is AA templates. There's about 300 designs in here, so let's go to 3 image design. Let go. And this is some of the designs that AlbumsAustralia provide you with. These designs will work on pretty much any album. They're dynamic. So even though they look like a square design, they can work on a horizontal album. So let's just drag and drop this on. And now we're in the what we call Composite Editor. Now, Composite Editor is similar to Photoshop. Think about layers. So what we work with in here is it's all in layers. Now, to start off with, you can just drag and drop into those apertures. Same thing apply. You can double click to scale and move images within the layer. Okay. Now, we have a background white. We can change that if you want. You can put in an image in the background. You can also fade that image. You can change the cropping if you wish. Okay. Now, you notice it faded to white, the background, and that's because our layer base is a white color, but we can change that just by going to our fill color, click on the image we want to work with, and now point to any color on the screen, or we can go up to our color picker on the top right and point to black. So at the moment, you notice our color is black and the image has faded to black. So if we unfade it again and then fade, if we fade it all the way to 100% or to 1, 0, it turns to black. And if we bring it back up to full opacity, which is 255, and now we're back to the image color. So now I like to fade things down to about maybe 100 points. Okay. Now with these apertures, I can keep them where they are, but if they don't suit this particular image that I'm working with, I can always move them around. So all of our templates are unlocked, and once you move them around, you can save them as your own templates. So to select the multiple layers, I'll just hit the Shift, hold down Shift, and just click on 3. You notice the orange key line highlighting all 3 apertures. I can come down and select the Move tool, or I can just use the shortcut M for Move. Now I can move these anywhere I want. I might move them down to the bottom left. And to make them stand out a little bit, I'm going to change their key line color from black. At the moment, this is the key line and it's showing me black. I will change it to white. Now to do that, you just come to Stroke Color, or shortcut C for Stroke Color. Click on that once, it turns to orange. Click on the apertures you want to work with, and you'll notice the picker changes to white. And now I'm picking anything from the shirt. I can pick from the background color or from the skin tone. So what I'll do, I'll pick something maybe from his shirt and then let go. And okay, so I'm happy with this design. All I have to do now to save this design so I can use it again and again is come up to here where it says Add Templates to Library. I can actually select a new library. So I'm going to go to Composite Template. And within this Composite Template, all I have to do is click on these orange buttons, which will save my template, and OK. Now to exit this Composite Editor, just click on the tick, and here we go. This is our design. Now you've noticed under Composite Templates that we have this new design. So all I have to do now is drag it onto a page. It's ready to use again. I'll just use it for the, let's say, location. Drag an image in the background. It's already faded to the opacity that I've selected, and it's ready to put in some images. I'll just quickly move these around a touch. Or what I might even do, I might think, no, I don't have enough images, so I might actually delete a couple of these. Move this to the side. Now this might be now my new design. Then same thing again. All I have to do is click on the Save Templates, OK, and exit. So now just like this, as we're working, even though they look the same, we have 2 new templates to work with. Now the more templates you have, you might create 10, 20 templates. the easier it becomes to build your albums. Now, an iMMIX page is a half panoramic and half matted page. So let's go to a 3-image design. All we have to do is just drag and drop a template on. These templates are locked and cannot be changed in any way. So the iMMIX or iMMIX templates, they are locked. Then all you have to do is drag and drop your images to suit. Now I don't have many images, I've imported only a handful, so I'll just be quick with them. Here we go. Let's say we're happy with this design. You can move the image within aperture, but just remember you cannot change the size of the aperture. So even if I tried, if I go to scale and I'm trying to scale, nothing happens. These are locked templates. So we'll add in another leaf and I'll show you how you can do a double panorama. So double panorama is one print or one design that you want to go across both pages. To do that, you have to go back to this menu, Panoramas. You'll notice there's single page and double page. So you drag and drop the double page onto your album pages. Now, any image that we drop across, it's going to actually stretch both pages. So let's just drag one down. Here we go. It's as simple as that. So we can just adjust that if we wish, or we can use a different design altogether. So put on a double page and now use one of our templates. So TDA AlbumsAustralia templates are in here, AA templates. You've got some double page panos. So you can use any of these. Let's just drag and drop one. And here we go. This is a double page. I personally like to design most of my magazine and digital in double pages because this way I can work with the flow of images. I can see them across from one page to another and work as a flow rather than work on one page, work on another. I like to have everything aligned. So if I'm not happy with this, I can always change it. You can see the orange line here. It's grouping these three together. And for move, I might want to move them across here. Now I don't have to worry about alignments. I can shift click both so they're both selected and quickly say align left, and that's it, they are aligned. I can also use the arrow tools just to move up and down and align things perfectly. Shift, and for move, now I can move this on the page anywhere I want. I can even center it here. Now if I want to make sure it's centered top and bottom, all I have to do is click on the align horizontally and that's centered. Just make that example better. Here we go. And it's centered. You notice there's a little gray line. I hope that this is coming through to your screen. A little gray line here. That's what we call our safety line. So the dark gray area is what possibly could be trimmed off when we're making the book. But what we ask is that you don't design anything past this gray line. So if you have these apertures, we don't recommend you putting them too close to the gray line or past the gray line. Because what happens, if we need to do an extra trimming, we'll end up trimming part of your print. So it's always safe to keep your images within, important images within this gray line. Okay, now let's center this again. If we don't want this altogether, you can click delete. You can also change the size. So if you print S, now we can work, and you'll notice it changing the size of all three apertures. And let go. Now we're ready to put in some prints. Let's do something like this. M for move, or I can just have these centered. I can change the thickness of that key line, and I'll also change the color of the key line. I can even select something from the flowers if I want and let go. If I'm happy with this, same thing apply. I can save it as my own template. If I don't want to save it as my template, I just want to move on, all I have to do is click on the save. Now I'll show you how to group and ungroup layers. These three apertures at the moment are groups, but to ungroup them, down here it says group and ungroup layers. So if I click on that once, they're ungrouped. So I'll just click outside them. Now if I click on them, you'll notice the orange line is selecting one at a time. So M for move, I can move them around. Now this is show you how easy it is to align and work with things. So let's say I've got 3 apertures and I want them all aligned and spaced and things. So shift click all 3, so now they're all selected in orange. I can say align top and they're all aligned. If I want to make sure this spacing is equal, all I have to do is say equal spacing, and now they've all equaled out. M to move, and I can move them and put them anywhere I want on the page. And once I'm happy with my selection, I can always regroup them as one. So we'll ungroup. Now if I click on them, you'll notice they're back to orange. So this way, if I need to move them, at least they're all together and I don't have to move one by mistake. The only thing you do need to remember when you're working in this composite editor is keep an eye on the orange line. Wherever the orange line is, that means it's the layer that you're working with. So that's the only thing. The other thing to remember is these shortcuts here. M for move and S for scale. They're the 2 that you will use the most. If you're on S for scale and you go to move these apertures and you go that, this is going to happen because you're on scaling and you try to move. So this is the only thing that you need to keep an eye on, is between M for move or S for scale. So M for move, and then you can move your apertures around. S for scale, and you can scale things. If you don't like these, you can delete altogether. To put a brand new aperture on, you can click on this plus, which brings in a new layer. This new layer will always match the old one that you have selected. So let's delete it. Because I've got the orange line selecting this double pano, just by clicking on plus, I'm going to get the same thing again. And I can put a print in it. But I'll delete that. What I want to do is I just want specific boxes. Let's say I want 6 boxes and I want them to be 3 by 3 inch. So this way you go to new layer array, okay, and select 3 by 3 inches, and I want 3 columns, and I want 2 rows, keep the spacing at 39. Okay, and here we go. So M for move them anywhere I want on the page, and I can just align them horizontally. And now if I had enough images, I can fill them up with a series of images. If I'm happy with this, I can change the keyline on them. I can change the color of the keyline. Now, even if you want to do something like a drop shadow, I can do the same thing. So 3 by 3 inch, I want 3 columns, 2 rows. Click on OK. So it created the same apertures. I'll change that to black from white as a base color. I will get rid of the keyline. M for move. I'm just going to align them as if it's a drop shadow. Maybe see if I can soften them a little bit. Okay. Now all I have to do is use this layer tool and bring them behind my images. So click on the, just slide up and down, and that will bring your design backward. If I go too far, it's actually going to go behind the last image, but by sliding it back, I can bring it one step forward. So this is just like changing your layers in Photoshop. So this is just nice and quick, created a quick drop shadow. I can use my arrow keys and just change it and move it the way I really want it to be. I can also fade it down even further if I want it. Okay. Now if I'm happy with this design and it's something that I'm going to use again, the same thing, I could have saved it as a template.